Trusted them with everything. My future. My home. My inheritance. But one day, I found out my own parents had sold it all. Without telling me. And in that moment, my world shattered. But what they didn't know was, I had one final document. And that paper was about to change everything. My name is Alex Carter. And I never thought the people who raised me would be the same ones who'd betray me. Growing up, my family wasn't rich. But we had something better. Trust. At least, that's what I believed. My grandfather, Henry Carter, was the backbone of our family. He built everything from scratch. A small house that later became a large property. A land that grew in value over the years. But more than money, that land meant something. It was history. It was legacy. And before he died, he made one thing very clear. This property belongs to Alex. I still remember the way he held my hand when he said it. His voice weak, but firm. I nodded, not fully understanding the weight of those words. I was just 18. After he passed away, life moved on. My parents handled everything. Paperwork, legal stuff, property matters. I trusted them. Why wouldn't I? They were my parents. Years passed. I moved to another city for work. Built my own life. Stayed busy. And slowly, I stopped thinking about the property. Until one day, everything changed. It started with a random conversation. I was visiting my hometown after almost a year. Just a short trip. I met an old neighbor, Mr. Daniels. He looked surprised when he saw me. Alex, you came back. Yeah, just for a few days. He hesitated, then said something that froze me. You know about the sale, right? My heart skipped. What sale? He frowned. The property. Your grandfather's land. Your parents sold it months ago. For a second, I couldn't breathe. That's not possible. He looked confused. I thought you knew. I drove home that night with my mind racing. This had to be a misunderstanding. There was no way they would do this without telling me. When I reached home, my parents were sitting calmly. Like nothing had happened. Mom, Dad, we need to talk. They looked at each other. Something felt off. Did you sell Grandpa's property? Silence. Then my father spoke. Yes. Just one word, but it hit harder than anything. Why didn't you tell me? My mother tried to stay calm. It was complicated. That land was mine. My father's voice turned cold. We did what was best for the family. Best for the family, or best for themselves. How much did you sell it for? They didn't answer. And that silence told me everything. Anger, pain, shock, everything hit at once. You had no right. My father stood up. We're your parents. We had every right. That was the moment I realized. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. I left that house that night. Not just physically, emotionally. Everything I believed about my family was breaking apart. Days passed. I tried to calm down, to think logically, but something didn't feel right. My grandfather wasn't careless. If he said the property was mine, there had to be proof. That's when I remembered something. A small memory, a moment I had almost forgotten. The day before he died, he gave me a sealed envelope. Keep this safe, he said. Open it when you need it. I had never opened it. It was still in my old apartment, hidden in a drawer, forgotten, until now. My hands trembled as I opened the envelope. Inside was a document, official, stamped, signed, a legal will. My eyes scanned the paper, line by line, heart pounding, and then I saw it. The truth. The property is to be transferred solely to Alex Carter. No other party has the authority to sell or modify ownership without his written consent. I froze. This was it. This was everything. They had no right, no legal right, and suddenly, everything made sense. They didn't just betray me. They broke the law. The next day, I made a decision. I wasn't going to stay silent. I contacted a lawyer, showed him the document. He looked at me and said, "You have a strong case." For the first time in days, I felt something different. Not anger, not pain, power. Weeks later, we took legal action. My parents were shocked. They never thought I would fight back. But this wasn't just about money. It was about respect, truth, and standing up for myself. Months passed. Court hearings, arguments, tension, and finally, the decision came. The judge ruled in my favor. The sale was declared invalid. The property was legally mine. My parents lost everything they tried to take. But the biggest loss wasn't money. It was trust. Even after everything, I didn't feel happy. Because sometimes, winning doesn't fix what's broken. But it does one thing. It sets you free. Trust is powerful, But blind trust can cost you everything. Stand for yourself, even if it means standing alone. If this story touched you, right finger like this video, thumbs up. Right finger subscribe for more real-life emotional stories, bell. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if your own family betrayed you? Speech balloon.